The debate over the best rock concert of all time is subjective, but several legendary performances stand out as defining moments in rock history. These concerts became iconic due to their massive cultural impact, the artists' unforgettable performances, and the electrifying connection with the audience. Here's a list of some of the most acclaimed rock concerts that have left a lasting legacy. 1. Woodstock, 1969. Arguably the most famous concert in rock history, Woodstock was a defining moment for the counterculture movement of the 1960s. Over 3 days, more than 400,000 people gathered on a farm in upstate New York for an epic festival featuring legendary performances by Jimi Hendrix, The Who, Janis Joplin, Santana, Joe Cocker, and many more. Hendrix's iconic rendition of The Star-Spangled Banner remains one of the most memorable moments in rock history. Why it's iconic. Woodstock symbolized peace, love, and music during an era of political and social upheaval. The sheer scale and lineup make it one of the greatest gatherings of musicians in history. 2. Queen at Live Aid, 1985. Queen's 20-minute set at Live Aid, held at Wembley Stadium in London, is widely considered one of the greatest live performances ever. With Freddie Mercury commanding the stage, Queen played hits like Bohemian Rhapsody, Radio Gaga, and We Are the Champions to a global audience of over 1.9 billion people. The energy and charisma of Mercury, combined with the band's tight musicianship, made this a standout moment. Why it's iconic. Queen's performance elevated them from rock stars to legends. Freddie Mercury's interaction with the crowd, particularly during the I.O. vocal exchange, is unforgettable. 3. The Rolling Stones at Altamont, 1969. The Altamont Free Concert, held in Northern California, was meant to be the West Coast's answer to Woodstock. However, the event is infamous for the chaos and violence that occurred, culminating in the murder of a concertgoer by a member of the Hells Angels. Despite the tragedy, the Rolling Stones' performance, especially their rendition of Sympathy for the Devil, became part of rock folklore. Why it's iconic. The concert marked the end of the idealistic 1960s and symbolized the darker side of the rock and roll lifestyle. While controversial, it remains a significant moment in rock history. 4. Led Zeppelin at Madison Square Garden, 1973. Led Zeppelin's three-night stand at Madison Square Garden in 1973 was immortalized in the concert film The Song Remains the Same. Featuring extended performances of classic tracks like Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lotta Love, and Dazed and Confused, these shows captured Led Zeppelin at their peak. Jimmy Page's guitar work and Robert Plant's vocals were legendary, cementing their status as one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Why it's iconic. The combination of technical prowess, powerful stage presence, and sheer volume of talent in these performances make them some of the best ever. 5. The Beatles' Rooftop Concert, 1969. On January 30, 1969, the Beatles performed an impromptu concert on the rooftop of their Apple Corps headquarters in London. This was their final live performance as a band, and despite lasting only 42 minutes, it has become one of the most iconic moments in rock history. Songs like Get Back and Don't Let Me Down echoed through the streets of London, surprising passers-by below. Why it's iconic. It was the last public performance of the Beatles, one of the most influential bands in history. The casual, rebellious nature of the concert symbolized their creativity and defiance against the norm. 6. Pink Floyd's The Wall Live, 1980–1981. Pink Floyd's The Wall tour is one of the most ambitious and theatrical rock performances ever staged. Played in a handful of cities between 1980 and 1981, the shows featured the band playing behind a massive wall that was gradually built and torn down during the performance. The elaborate stage design, surreal animations, and powerful music made it a transformative live experience. Why it's iconic. The visual and auditory experience was groundbreaking, with the band pushing the boundaries of what a live rock performance could be. It's still regarded as one of the most technically sophisticated and conceptual concerts in history. 7. Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in New York, 1993. While most rock concerts thrive on volume and energy, Nirvana's MTV Unplugged performance showed the emotional depth of their music in an acoustic setting. Playing a setlist full of lesser-known tracks and covers, including David Bowie's "The Man Who Sold the World," Kurt Cobain's raw vocals and poignant delivery captivated the audience. The concert, recorded just months before Cobain's death, became a haunting and intimate farewell to a generation-defining band. Why it's iconic. The vulnerability and authenticity of this performance captured the essence of Nirvana and showcased the emotional power of acoustic rock. It remains one of the most celebrated MTV Unplugged sessions. 8. Bruce Springsteen at the Hammersmith Odeon, 1975. Bruce Springsteen's performance at the Hammersmith Odeon in London in 1975 is often cited as one of his most electrifying. The concert was part of the Born to Run tour, and Springsteen, still an emerging star, played with an intensity that left the audience in awe. His powerful vocals, storytelling, and marathon sets have become hallmarks of Springsteen concerts. Why it's iconic. Springsteen's energy and connection with his audience were unmatched, and this concert helped cement his status as one of rock's greatest live performers. 9. David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust Farewell, 1973. In July 1973, David Bowie performed a farewell concert for his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust, at London's Hammersmith Odeon. The show, which was a part of his Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars tour, was a flamboyant, theatrical masterpiece that captured Bowie at the height of his glam rock phase. The concert was dramatic, with Bowie announcing the retirement of Ziggy Stardust, much to the shock of his fans. Why it's iconic. Bowie's performance, style, and bold decision to retire his famous persona made this one of the most memorable rock concerts ever. It marked a turning point in Bowie's career and the evolution of rock theatrics. 10. The Who at Isle of Wight Festival, 1970. The Who's performance at the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 is regarded as one of their finest live shows. With a set list that included hits like My Generation and Pinball Wizard, the band delivered a high-energy performance, featuring Pete Townshend's windmill guitar moves and Keith Moon's frenetic drumming. The concert was a defining moment in the band's live legacy. Why it's iconic. The Who's live performances were explosive, and this show captured them at the peak of their powers, with an enormous crowd and a lineup of legendary acts. Rock concerts have an extraordinary way of bringing people together, creating moments that transcend time and space. Whether you're drawn to the raw energy of a festival like Woodstock or the polished perfection of Queen at Live Aid, these legendary performances continue to inspire generations. Be sure to explore the concerts mentioned, as each represents a piece of rock history that defined not just a moment, but an era. Check my links below for more on the greatest rock performances ever. Don't forget to like, comment, and consider subscribing for more exciting content. Thanks for watching Cyber Theo.